Blackheads usually begin when pores become clogged with excess oil and dead skin cells. So prevention works best when skincare stays gentle, regular, and simple rather than harsh, aggressive, or constantly changing. Wash acne-prone skin no more than twice a day, and also after heavy sweating, using a mild cleanser in lukewarm water, because frequent washing, rough scrubbing, and very hot or very cold water can irritate the skin and make acne seem worse. Do not try to squeeze, scrape, or clean out blackheads at home, because that can worsen inflammation and may increase the risk of lasting marks or scarring. Choose oil-free or non-comedogenic skincare, sunscreen, and makeup when possible. Remove makeup before bed, and keep oily hair products away from the face. Over-the-counter ingredients such as salicylic acid, adapalene, and benzoyl peroxide can help unclog pores or support acne control. But they can cause dryness or irritation at first, so it makes sense to start slowly and use a light moisturizer if needed. Improvement usually takes several weeks rather than happening overnight. And if acne becomes painful, widespread, scar-forming, or does not improve after a reasonable trial of self-care, it is sensible to see a dermatologist. And now, with that practical advice folded neatly at the front like a clean towel on a bathroom shelf, let the rest of the evening belong to laughter, because in a tidy retirement town in Texas, where every front porch had at least 2 chairs and one strong opinion, there lived a 79-year-old widow named Opal Jean Whitmore, who had reached the age where she no longer believed in pretending that nonsense was unexpected. In Opal Jean's opinion, nonsense was one of the most dependable things left in modern society, right up there with junk mail and lower back pain. Opal Jean lived in a pale peach house with white trim, a porch swing, 2 hanging ferns, and a front walkway lined with neat bricks. Her late husband, Harold, had laid himself one summer while insisting that proper edging prevented moral decline. Harold had been practical in all major matters and wildly impractical in several glorious minor ones. He could fix an engine, splice a wire, and build shelves square enough to satisfy a ruler, but he also had a weakness for decorative objects so foolish that ordinary people would have crossed the street rather than be seen buying them. His greatest triumph in this category was a concrete armadillo painted gold and wearing a tiny sheriff's badge. He won it at a church raffle after misunderstanding the ticket sheet and buying enough chances to support the youth choir's snack budget for a month. He brought it home in the truck bed like a war trophy and set it beside the porch steps with the solemn pride of a man convinced he had improved local architecture. Opal Jean laughed until she had to lean against the mailbox. The armadillo stayed. It stayed through heat, rain, repainting, grandchildren, a roof leak, 2 dog incidents, and all the quieter years after Harold died, when the house learned how to hold one person's silence without collapsing under it. She never moved it. She dusted it. She righted the badge when wind nudged it crooked. She once told a package driver not to stack boxes against it because Deputy Buck has enough duties already. Her 2 closest friends were Loretta June Barnes, age 73, retired church secretary, owner of a floral handbag with enough capacity to support a regional emergency, and a woman who could smell gossip from 3 porches away, and Clyde Mercer, age 82, former feed store owner, amateur domino referee, and a man who trusted black coffee, cast iron, and his own first impression more than he trusted websites, scented candles, or any sentence beginning with, "Wouldn't it be cute if..." Every Thursday morning, the 3 met at Millie's Cafe, where the biscuits were large, the coffee was dark, and the waitress, a broad-shouldered angel named Trina, called everyone sugar in a tone that managed to sound both affectionate and faintly supervisory. One Thursday in early spring, Opal Jean arrived 12 minutes late with an expression so severe that Loretta June stopped buttering her toast, and Clyde lowered his mug without taking the sip he had plainly earned. "That face," Loretta said, narrowing her eyes, "means either the churchwomen have started a project or somebody has done something to your yard." Opal Jean sat down, placed her purse beside her, and said, "Someone has made my armadillo the official mascot of second marriage." Clyde blinked once. Loretta blinked twice. Trina stopped in the aisle with the coffee pot halfway tilted. "You're what?" Loretta asked. Opal Jean reached into her purse and pulled out a glossy flyer. Across the top, in pink and gold letters so confident they should have required a permit, were the words, "Evening of New Beginnings." Beneath a watercolor moon, 2 wine glasses, and several deeply unrealistic lanterns, sat a photograph of Deputy Buck, her gold-painted armadillo in his sheriff's badge, with the caption, "Our symbol of courage, charm, and trying again." "That," Opal Jean said, tapping the page with one finger, "is my late husband's decorative armadillo, apparently now serving an emotional outreach." Trina slowly set down the coffee pot. "Not the little sheriff." "Exactly the little sheriff. Younger people might think this was a harmless misunderstanding. Younger people do not yet understand retirement communities. In towns like theirs, nothing stayed harmless once retirees, committees, and laminated signs got hold of it. A potluck became policy. A social became a movement. A tiny idea, once fed with clip art and volunteer energy, could grow 3 heads and demand public seating. By the time the eggs arrived, half the cafe knew that Opal Jean Whitmore's front yard armadillo had been drafted into a companionship event for widows and widowers. A man at the counter declared that the armadillo looked emotionally stable. A woman near the pie case said the activities committee had finally gone too far, and that's saying something after they themed bingo. Trina brought Opal Jean extra bacon for structural support. Loretta had already written Armadillo Crisis across the back of a paper placemat. "We're investigating," she announced. Opal Jean sighed. "We're eating breakfast." "Both can happen," Clyde said, which was exactly the sort of sentence retired people say when meddling has already become a public service. By 10:30, they were standing in Opal Jean's front yard beside the porch steps. The place where Deputy Buck normally stood was empty. Just a pale square of settled dust, one little chip of gold paint in the dirt, and a silence so rude it felt personal. Opal Jean stopped cold. "No," she said. Loretta followed her gaze. "What?" Opal Jean pointed. "He's gone." Clyde took off his glasses, polished them on his shirt, and put them back on like a man preparing to confirm society had once again failed to meet minimum requirements. "Well," he said, "that improves the seriousness." Loretta found a strip of pink ribbon caught on a rosebush. Clyde found 2 narrow wheel tracks near the curb. Opal Jean stood with her hands on her hips, staring at the bare patch where Harold's ridiculous golden armadillo had stood for years, and said, "They have abducted a memorial mammal for romantic branding." Loretta wrote that down immediately. By noon, the whole neighborhood knew. At the mailbox cluster, Mrs. Fenwick asked whether the event would still proceed without the mascot gentleman. At the pharmacy, a cashier said her aunt had bought a ticket because the armadillo made the whole thing feel less humiliating. At chair yoga, 2 women paused in a stretch to ask whether there would still be finger sandwiches. Even the groundskeeper, Marco, who had wisely built a life around staying out of resident legend, shook his head and said, "The armadillo? That's too much." Opal Jean's daughter called from Austin, already laughing. "Mama," she said, "why is Daddy's yard armadillo in relationship management?" "Because this town is one folding table away from collapse," Opal Jean replied. "Are you upset?" "I am offended on principle and interested in names. The first real clue came from the cashier at the craft store, who lowered her voice and said, "I probably shouldn't mention this, but I saw Brenda Nell and Carol Sue from Activities buying blush ribbon, battery candles, and little paper hearts yesterday. They had a photo of a gold armadillo and asked whether badge-shaped place cards felt playful or aggressive. That was enough." Brenda Nell chaired the activities circle. Carol Sue handled decor enhancement, which sounded innocent until one learned she had once added fairy lights to a blood pressure fair. Together, they were exactly the type of women who would borrow a porch armadillo to improve turnout and still call themselves thoughtful. So, by 1:30, Opal Jean, Loretta, and Clyde were at the community hall. Inside, the room had already been transformed into the sort of atmosphere only retirees and discounted fabric can produce. Folding chairs in intimate pairs, tea lights in mason jars, pink table runners, a violin playlist, and enough hopeful script signs to endanger public decency. At the front of the room, on a small white crate beneath a banner reading "Hearts Don't Retire," stood Deputy Buck. He had been polished. His little sheriff's badge gleamed. Around his neck, someone had tied a silk ribbon bow in pale blush pink. Opal Jean stopped so abruptly, Loretta nearly collided with her shoulder. "Now they've courted him," she said. Clyde folded his arms. "This is how nations weaken." Brenda Nell turned with the overbright smile of a woman who knew she'd been caught, but still felt the centerpiece worked. "Opal," she said, "I was just about to call you." "Then let us save both of us the strain," Opal Jean replied. "Why is my late husband's decorative armadillo wearing romantic neckwear?" Carol Sue appeared from behind a tray of lemonade glasses and immediately looked guilty enough to power the building if attached to copper. Several volunteers nearby became perfectly still, which is one of the higher athletic arts of retirement communities.